Hey, how's it going, everybody? I have a theory. I have to say something. I guess it's not really a big deal. I'm just a random dude on the internet, but I want to also mention. I want to mention like this aspect of masculinity. What is a man? And in respect to our culture, what is a man? Now, if anybody knows the concept of narcissism, they know it has a lot of ideas of grandiosity, grandiose narcissism, feelings like you're special, feeling like you're entitled to greatness, or like you just have greatness that should be coming to you. Um, and the thing is, just like we're people, and we need to understand in relation to masculinity today in our culture, in our Western culture particularly, um, that standard is pretty much all over the place. So, in regards to that, what exactly should a man be? So I'm gonna theorize. I'm gonna make a theory. I think, in my opinion, um, people think a man is supposed to be this stoic person who doesn't care. Sorry, is a stoic person who's like not as caring, and they not they're like unfeeling, and they're very tough, and um just a person who's like a brick wall with stone arms, and a bunch of other things, which is, in my opinion, when I hear about people saying, when I hear in videos about women saying they want a sensitive person, I've learned that like they're saying, and then also I've heard, I'm sorry, when I hear that, I hear what they're saying, but then I learned that there's subtext there that people that they don't mention, they do not mention it. They don't like, oh, I want a sensitive person, but I also want a person who is strong and tough, and they're not going to like crumble at the smallest thing and stuff like that. And so that's something I had to learn. I'm like, people say stuff, but they don't really mention the subtext. And in our culture, masculinity is just a whole spectrum of stuff. We don't really like, for instance, Pharrell Williams, when he had that I think it was on GQ, the magazine. It was saying the new masculinity, and then people had a big issue with that. And then the whole Gillette commercial about like boys would be boys and stuff like that. Now, I think that they're hitting notes that question what we used to consider masculine. And so, in my opinion, what I believe true man, forgive me, I hate the idea of true this, true that, because it's like the no true Scotsman fallacy, because it's like what's truly something. But in my opinion, what a healthy version of what a person is, a a man, and this is me theorizing. This is me theorizing. A man is somebody who's responsible. They take care of what they need to in terms of their basic core needs, like they have a place to stay, they have a car to drive, they have financial stability. They're not being a burden to themselves or other people. Um, and they are trying to not just they're contributing to the people around them in a responsible fashion, and not in necessarily in a sense that's overly extreme or something like that. They're doing their best, and they are carrying their own weight. Another thing is they do not they have a healthy, a medium, a neutral sense of value of women, and they don't necessarily have this inflated sense of women that they're like, oh, they're goddesses, or oh, they're trash. It's just like they have a neutral sense of women, that they're people just like them. And my third one is that they're smart, they're wise, they are very mindful of the environment around them. They're not like God or anything. They don't know everything, but they know enough around their environment, and that they're not going to be sitting here. Oh, sorry. I guess that's a fourth one. But they're pretty mindful of the space around them. Fourth, they're I guess I'm sorry. I had a thought, but I think the fourth one's going to be pretty much they're humble. And humility, in my opinion, of my Christian perspective is that they have a healthy sense of themselves in the world. So they know that they're just a man. They have capability, but they don't have an inflated sense of worth. They know who they are. They know where they're at, and they're not gonna sit here and be like overly. They're not gonna be delusional. Let's just say that. And delusion is just means you're out of touch with reality. Your thoughts and your behaviors are out of touch with reality. So they're not delusional. They have a very concrete, solid, more or less objective sense of where they're at in the world. And they're not going to be like, yo, I'm the greatest person of all time. I get what Kanye was talking about, because he's like, maybe he just had it over an inflated sense of self-worth due to his upbringing. But sometimes when you're in the media, you have to have those, you have to posture like that, because you have to compete. and everybody else is thinking the same thing. So it's like you have to compete. Oh, I guess that the fifth one will be kind of a meld of the first one, which is pretty much being responsible. So responsible with their body, responsible with their mind, responsible with their emotions. And again, these aren't things I've succeeded in. These are theories. This is me theorizing. So in my theory, they try to hit the gym. Now, mind you, I've had a video before explaining about getting into the gym. Sorry, sixth one before I forget, being competent. So learning some skills. Maybe it's a trade. Maybe learning how to cook. Because if you really consider it long term, the investment, you learn how to cook better. I say HelloFresh is a good start because they give you like instructions and stuff like that. You learn how to cook, you will save lots of money than going over fast food. That's the convenience of fast food. They prepare the food, they give it to you, you eat it, and then that's it. You make your own food, and you're trying to be a responsible adult. You have food at home. You have the right ingredients. You cook the right ingredients, and you might have enough food to last you a few days. So, and that could potentially be the same price as one trip. So that's like one trip versus 3 trips. 1 day's worth of food or 1 hour worth of food versus 3 days worth of food for the same price roughly, if you're smart and competent. And that's one thing. Just try to develop some healthy skills like some cooking, like maybe basic mechanics, like what I mean, and it's kind of like basic survival skills. And I want to just encourage people to do that because our society is pretty advanced in the West. But what happens if something happens? You know, what happens? You can't just be out here dang, oh man, my car broke down, my phone is dead. And again, I get it, you can charge your phone, but like, what if all this stuff was what if all of this stuff just happened, like an EMP suddenly? Again, this is a crazy scenario, but like, what if happens if an EMP goes off and all your electronics is down, including your car? I mean, I guess you couldn't. Basic survival skills probably couldn't help you there because a lot of stuff is like electronic and stuff. But it's like, how do you handle things? That's why I do admire folks who know how to survive in the woods. I think that's awesome. But yeah, how do you handle yourself? Sex one. Have a sense of and this is something I do enjoy from a certain psychologist. I'll mention in the description if I remember. Have a sense of toughness. Now, here's what I don't want people to confuse. Being in a sense of toughness, I'll say it's almost having a sense of formidability, and that just be formidable, be competitive out here, have a sense of competition. When you're out here, you're gonna have to compete with other people, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to compete. You have to compete. Whether that's with the dating market or that's in the job market, you have to show yourself to be formidable, and you have to be competent. You got to be confident. That'll be my seventh one. But be formidable out here. You have the skills. You have the drive. You have the ability. Go apply yourself. And you can do it. You can do it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. You can do it. If you apply yourself, you give yourself goals you can achieve. You, not compared to me, not compared to freaking link back there, like yourself. If you can only lift a dumbbell that's 15 pounds, do that. Maybe start with 10. Don't start with 20 and start lifting weights and stuff like that and then stress your body out. Like do what you can do and then push yourself from there if you want. I definitely encourage people to push themselves. I definitely encourage that. So I'm going to do the seventh one. Show some confidence. I just encourage people, show some confidence. And confidence is just, you believe in yourself. You believe in your abilities. Now, believing in yourself and believing in your abilities does not discount believing in God. Those are two separate things, and it can be compartmentalized. And I think God just encourages you to believe in the abilities that he gave you with your body. This is just me from my Christian perspective, but I want to encourage people to just believe in yourself, believe in your abilities. Mind you, stuff like, again, I'm a psychology student, late in the game, but psychology student. One of the things about depression is that it distorts your reality or your perception of reality. So you think negatively by comparison of what your reality is. You might be a superstar, but in your head you could be like, man, I'm an imposter, I'm a fraud out here. But that's just it. All that stuff is in your head. So have a good sense of perspective. Like, have some confidence. And again, the Bible says do not believe more than you ought. So that means do not believe any more than you should. Now I had this actually I'll just leave it at that. But do not believe any more than you should, which means have a healthy sense of yourself. Don't believe any higher, don't believe any lower. Just believe just enough and believe you're enough. You know. Also, I guess I'll leave with a Christian thing. Just know God cares about you, God loves you, God made you to be so great. And I don't mean great in a grandiose fashion, but just great in your own right. So I encourage you to just maybe do some journaling, list some pros, list some small goals that you can do, and maybe even list some long goals that you could do in the future or what you aspire to, and then work your way back. That's what a friend of mine, like not a fellow, I'm not in the military, but a Marine friend of mine who told me, like, then this dude's very goal oriented, and one of the things he showed me was just like, oh shoot, sorry, let me I want to go back to that humble part. When you are humble, I'll go for 8. I'm sorry, I'll do 8. Be teachable. Be teachable. That's something I really want to share with people. Be teachable. When you can apply yourself and be teachable, you can learn. You can be unstoppable. You have so much capability of learning so much. You're teachable. When you have a humble sense of self and know, like, yo, you're not the smartest turtle in the sea. You are formidable in your own right, but there's always going to be a stronger, faster, more intelligent person than you, and do not compare. That might be an ninth one. Do not stop comparing yourself. You are where you're at. So stop comparing yourself. You gotta work where you're at. And yeah, just know God made you to be so capable. But if you don't apply wisdom, and you don't have the right mindset, you don't have the right heart, you will keep crashing and burning. What they say, the righteous fall 7 times and then get up, or something like that, or righteous fall 6 times, 7 times, and then rise up again. Like life is hard, but you can get through this. So I just want to encourage people. This masculinity thing that we consider, people say it's a masculinity crisis. I don't think so. I just don't think none of us have been taught properly about growing up, and that's why, like, the need for people like Jordan Peterson was just so strong, because, like, we don't know. We like it. Feel like the last generation kind of left us, kind of failed us a little bit. I mean, it failed us a lot, actually. So it's like, it's almost, and the thing is, God always erects people up. He always lifts up people to lead the next generation. So maybe that's you for this generation, maybe that's you for the next generation, but you'll never know if you don't apply yourself, if you don't take those steps to grow and be a better person. So I'm sorry, I got 9. I'm sorry, it's already 13 minutes in. I gotta say this. Actually, I just forgot. I'm sorry, I just forgot. Well, that's it, guys. I'll see y'all.